This is real talk with Oscar Rivera. That would be me, the exegetical thug, aka 210. Just keeping it real. That's it. Just real talk. Keep it real. 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 Keep it real.
How you guys doing? Welcome to the first of potentially once a month occurrences here. I don't want to call it a podcast because I don't have a podcast channel, but it's just me really just genuinely experimenting with something different. It's called Real Talk with 210, and it's just an opportunity for me to kind of just express my mind, and maybe you guys agree with it, maybe you don't, but at the end of the day, you know, that's what makes our world so dang unique, is that we have so many differentiating opinions and yet we still manage to keep it together. So for Real Talk, as an introduction, I mean, it's all about just eventually speaking my mind towards certain things. Would it lead to eventual, you know, I don't know where it's going, in all honesty. It's just going in some direction. But basically, it's just real talk. It's just, you know, letting it out, what's going on, and so on and so forth. And I want to leave it to you guys eventually to kind of like, you know, put down some topics. Maybe we can do this live at some point in time and you guys can just chime in on different levels. But it's just an opportunity to just be real about what's going on, because sometimes I believe Facebook is just a great tool for connecting and networking and so on and so forth. But the unfortunate reality is that it's not really truly a communicative tool. You don't really read. Well, what we really do is actually read into words, you know. We don't necessarily get ourselves in a situation where we're genuinely communicating with people out there. And maybe this is the segue to this Real Talk session right now. It's the reality of the virtual reality of social media, you know. We assume that we're actually having a conversation with people, but are we really? Is it really the art of conversating? Now, I don't want to get to that extreme where, you know, we demonize social media and like Facebook becomes, you know, the Antichrist, and Facebook is so irrelevant right now. It's such an young adult thing to do that it's like the MySpace to kids. You know what I mean? Like, kids don't even use it anymore, but us adults are raving about it. And since we've infiltrated Facebook, now the teens are abandoning ship. But that's a whole different topic. But it's just this reality right now, is that we are so engaged in talking and debating, especially the debating aspect on Facebook or other social media outlets, that can we really do this in real life? Do we really talk like this in real life? Do we even have the courage to do this in real life, or to engage in the type of conversations that we engage in real life? And if that's the case, then why hasn't this world changed yet? Why are we still the same way? We're all so opinionated, and we all have, you know, strong opinions and biases and so on and so forth. But with the amount of drive and the amount of reading that I've been doing on Facebook, it should seem that every single one of us who are putting our opinions on the table are actually doing something to benefit the world in some way, shape, or form. Now, a lot of us are, and I don't mean to include myself. A lot of people are. And there are other people that are just we're just spectating, you know? Facebook is a spectator sport. You're like, man, who's going to muster up some nonsense today? Who's going to let some nonsense fly today? Who's going to argue? And you always have the usual suspects. You know, when you log in, you always know that there's going to be someone who's going to be the rebel rouser, someone who's going to be the peacemaker, someone who's just going to keep instigating until all of a sudden words start flying. It's a spectator sport. It's really not. It's not conversation. I don't really genuinely see conversations playing out like that. Here's why I believe conversations don't play out like that. Well, number one, when you're in an actual debate or in an actual conversation with someone, you're kind of committed to that person, right? You're like, you engage back and forth, and whether you're arguing or actually having a pleasant conversation, you and that person are face to face that whole conversation. Well, Facebook, you're not. Someone can chime in, say something, leave, come back a day later and try to respond. I'm guilty of that, you know? So is it actually a conversation just based on the fact that you're not even really committed to the full conversation? Now, some people are sitting there, you know, and they have, especially in the debate realm, you're debating over things, but then you have the individual who's just sitting there debating while Google searching ways to make you feel like a fool for having your opinion. You know, you have that person, that guy, that gal, you know, and that's going on. And then you have the individual that's just a peacemaker. Oh, come on, guys. Everyone just agree. And, you know, unrealistically, you know, and I myself am kind of a peacemaker. You know, I see the conversations going nowhere, and it's like, what's the point of it? You know, what's the point? What's the fruit of your conversation? Is it going this way? Is it going that way? What are you really talking about? You know what I mean? What's really going on? Not a lot of people know. So we just end up lost in the mix and just logging in, eating popcorn and watching it fly, you know? The other reason it's not real is simply this. You can't hear you can't hear what they're saying. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get the inflection, you don't get the tone, you get nothing. All you get is words. And the only emotional evidence that you have on these Facebook conversations or Twitter or any social media is whether the cap lock is on or the you know, the ending punctuation. Is it an exclamation mark? Is it an exclamation mark? Is there numerous exclamation marks, and is the cap locks on? Like, you don't know. You have no idea. The person on the other end could just be messing around, typing things, trolling. I guess that's the thing. You have no idea, but you are losing your mind in the real world about these unreal words, and it baffles me because it really does affect the way that people function emotionally. It does. It is the type of drama that we're dealing with, and it's like, wow, you know. Anyway, this is Real Talk. Why don't y'all chime in on this, and y'all tell me what you think, and we'll just go from there. But look, keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. Make it real talk. Let's talk. And let me know if this is something that you guys kind of dig or don't dig. And, you know, I'm just exploring options of utilizing the gifts that God gave, you know. Now, speaking is not one of them. I'm just speaking in terms of, you know, recording stuff. You know what I mean? All right, that's Real Talk with your boy 210. I probably went nowhere. Who cares? It's Real Talk. It's right here. It's unscripted. It's in your face. Talk
Real
about it.
talk.
Deuces.
That would be me. Just keeping it real. That's it. Just talk. Keep it real.